I believe we're live. There we are. Good morning. Good morning,
Good morning, good
Marcus.
morning, good morning.
How are you?
Great.
Oh, oh, that okay. That was a flashback to 40 years ago. I don't think the millennials and Gen Xers know anything about that.
Tony the Tiger, no way. Kellogg's, no.
Tony the Tiger.
Living
Right,
Frosted.
right, right. So I'm really excited about our broadcast today, man. Last week, we really began to unpack how to first of all, reveal, then deal, and then heal from father fractures and mother wounds. And just building on that today, of course, we're unpacking the Kirk Franklin story, that dynamic documentary that he did. And we know that he's not the only one. We have you and I have our own dynamics with our own parents and things that we have had to well, if we wanted to succeed and really get the most out of life, things that we have chosen to do the work and to mature through and grow through.
Right.
So I believe that today is really going to be very interesting to a number of folks. We're really going to drill down on father fractures. We know with Kirk Franklin, for 52, 53 years of his life, he first he didn't know who his father was, and then his mother told him that it was someone else, and he had all this energy directed toward that person, just to find out a few months ago that his biological father literally lived within a couple of blocks of his studio.
Right.
Just devastating, devastating. And so we looked last week on revealing and helping individuals understand that they've got to get the monkey off their back. Some folks have locked these emotions up, these experiences up, and these traumas up, but they're going to manifest in your life somewhere if you don't get it out. And how having a coach like yourself and me, myself, we provide a safe space for people. So today we're going to segue to dealing. So we're revealing, then now we're going to deal with some of these the
Intricacies of navigating ourselves to some life changing beneficial results. How's that?
well, yeah, the intricacies that I attempt not to use those fancy words, but yes, the intricacies. It is so true. So I want to just kind of punt this. Uh-oh. I want to punt this over to you, because fathers and having a healthy relationship with your father is so significant. And when there's an absence of a father, can you would you just begin to, because we want this to resonate with the folks who are watching. And some folks, it may go completely over their head. It's not their experience, and that's fine. However, what my experience is, the lion's share of us have had some dynamics with our fathers, whether they're not there in the home, whether we didn't know them, whether they were abusive or alcoholics or what have you. So these are the types of issues that a lot of our clients deal with in their day-to-day lives. So I'm going to punt it over to you for you to just share whatever's on your heart and mind, and then we'll begin to drill down.
Yeah, well, thanks. I appreciate that. It's incredibly impacting in one's life for ones to grow up without their fathers. And then, I know some people very closely that had their father, but they were, like you mentioned just now, a severe alcoholic. And so there's pros and cons either way you go, depending on what the situation is. I do see some rather very interesting detriments, if we're going to use that word, for a fatherless home. I grew up without mine, and so I got a chance to know him only at the age of 19 for just that one summer.
Wow.
And for the summer of 1980, I was able to be with him, and that was incredible. But
Mhm.
I had never seen a man write a check, take care of responsibilities, be a husband, be a father, handle the household, and be in charge of the household. I'd never seen it before. I didn't even see it on TV. So I never saw it ever. So I realized that was somewhat of a detrimental effect, trying to be a husband and the head of a house. And so when my wife at the time said, "Hey, I'll take care of the bills and you just go out here and go and pursue the millions of dollars that you believe you're going to go after," well, I'd have not one drop of an issue with that, because that was a natural flow because of what I seen my mother doing all my life, taking care of the bills and take care of all that things. So I had not one drop of an issue with it. I've had buddies that say they don't care what they'd have to do, even if it was selling Coke bottles and pop bottles like we used to be able to do 50 years ago. They would do anything to make sure they take care of those bills. They would even take a paper route as a grown man to make sure they took care of the bills. That was not even remotely in my consciousness because I'd never seen such adamant focus on providing for the family. So
Wow.
I've never had that gene or that particular ingredient because I never had a man around. And there's other ramifications. We could be on this type of a topic, Coach, for at least 6 or 7 hours in a row. I'm
Right.
just naming my experience. And there's been other ramifications for not having a father in the home as a male. And then there's consequences of a fatherless home with females.
Right.
So, and then I saw one of the things that was listed regarding fatherless home is not, as a male, not bonding and having other male relationships. I look at who are my closest friends, how many do I have, and it's pretty minimal. I can say I've got one absolute best male friend of all, kind of like a mentor, big brother, best friend. And I got about 2 or 3 others that I trust, but there's no significant number of males that I have because I grew up with all females in my house. 2 sisters and a mom, no male influence, no male bonding, never. So
Wow.
I don't have that. And
Mm.
it becomes more apparent whenever I have to move and it's time to move into a new place. That's when it's the most blaring of all. Wow, look at how many, or lack thereof, of male ace booms that's got my back that I can call upon. Wow, it's pretty evident then. So
Right.
it's amazing. It's a multi-hour, multi-day topic that we can
Right.
really drill on. So I encourage people to give us a call and
Right.
come be a part of some of our doings so that we
Right.
can help facilitate and help a person navigate through some of the ramifications of not having a dad in your house.
Well, what you touched on is so significant in how these early experiences in our lives impact our adulthood throughout our lives.
Wow.
And as coaches, we see this all the time. This is what we do, this is the work that we do, and the service that we provide for our clients. The thing that we have discovered, well, that, and I say we because you and I have discussed it, so I know both of us have discovered, is that most folks don't even make the connection.
No.
They don't make the connection that the reason my relationships dissolve or I only have certain types of relationships. I know for me, it's really interesting. I was raised also in a fatherless home, and growing up, even into my adulthood, my closest friends, if they were women, they were much older than me, or if they weren't, they were guys, because I felt more comfortable around. And this is like the flip, right? Although I was not raised with a dad, there was a hunger for that male affirmation, for that male connectivity. And I found this, and I've heard other women say this too. So I'm gonna go on and say it. It wasn't just my experience, but I found men easier to just get along with the women. So that may even bleed into some mother wounds, and we'll talk about that on Friday. But making the connection as an adult, when you're living life, you're going forward, you have all this stuff in your history, and we often teach folks, don't dwell on your past. However, when we're getting into shifting those gears and leveling up, there are key components of our past that we must address, that we must acknowledge, that we must first
Well,
acknowledge, not
the
be in
awareness
denial.
is key. The awareness is absolutely key.
Awareness is
Step number one
absolutely key.
is getting awareness. Awareness. So that's what we do. Yes.
Yep, bringing that to the forefront, then being able to reveal it, releasing it, letting it go, getting that weight off. And then you mentioned that our last
Yes.
broadcast,
Yes.
and then how to deal with this, because I'm looking at Kirk Franklin and him pacing back and forth when he realized that this man was his biological father, and he just kept saying, wow, wow, wow.
He kept saying, what? What?
Right.
What?
Right. Yes. Yes, you're right. He was saying what, the processing, and how to deal with these traumas, this new information, and that is where folks who are watching us right now are struggling with. Some of them have mentioned it. How do I deal with this knowledge? How do I deal with this thing in my life? And how do I keep it from um, ambushing and capsizing all of my efforts,
Right.
what I'm attempting to do, my relationships, capsizing my relationships? And that is where the coaching is so pivotal, to have a mentor, a coach, someone to walk alongside you and help you navigate. I'm going to read real briefly some of the um, results of being raised in the fatherless home. And this is just a few, just a handful for girls and just for a handful for guys. And then I'm going to punt it back over to you. For girls, girls raised in a fatherless home are more apt to have low self-esteem. They're more apt to have low self-esteem. They're more apt to being promiscuous, and they're more apt to become teen mothers, attempting to fill that void, be accepted and loved by a male figure, a man. There's a higher vulnerability to be in abusive relationships, emotional instability and depression. All of this by not having a father in the home, and possibly academic struggles. For boys, behavior problems, problems with authority, lower educational attainment, juvenile delinquency, just fighting for their identity, and I would even spread that into and incorporate even into getting involved with gangs, and a sense of belonging, and a sense of being empowered, and all of that. So uh, when we talk about Kirk Franklin, and we, if anyone who really knows his story and the different things that he dealt with, but he's just one person out of hundreds of thousands that in many different ways are dealing with the exact same things. Marcus, in hearing that list, the low self-esteem, because low self-esteem affects your wealth, your success, your prosperity, right? So we're moving the needle. We're wanting to move folks from where they are to where they want to be. That's at the heart of Dell and Dell. And along the way, we must deal with these issues. We must reveal these issues and help people heal. So I'm going to punt it to you in hearing these different challenges that individuals have as a result of just fatherlessness. There's a lie out there that says you can't miss what you never had, but is that true?
Well, I think it's just absolutely so pivotal and critical. As we close, we got another minute till 15 minutes. I would say this: it's been an incredible and sometimes, Coach, detrimental effect. Which you're just confirming what you're saying. I mean, I could spend a whole weekend on this. I would suggest people call the number on your screen. Let's talk about it, because you talk about low self-esteem. You're really hitting a nail on the head there. For me, the self-esteem was zero. And so therefore I'm getting bullied every day. I was afraid of everything. And I was the tallest in every class. I've been the tallest in every class my whole life until I got to college. And when I saw somebody my height or taller, I didn't know. I'd never seen that before. I've always been the tallest. And yet and still I was afraid to fight. There was no self-esteem, Coach, I'm telling you. So I'm
Wow.
getting beat up on a regular basis. And then one day, while I was in Los Angeles going to school there, my mom decided to get off the Yellow Pages. We had Yellow Pages back then. And she looked up a karate school, and she found Jim Kelly there off of Crenshaw Boulevard. He became famous in karate movies, but at the time he was unknown. And we did punches in the air for 2 hours. We just did punches in the air for 2 hours. We did that for 2 hours, and I thought I was 100% Bruce Lee. I thought I was Bruce Lee 100%. So my confidence came because of punching in the air for 2 hours. Wow.
Having a coach.
Well, that was exactly right. So imagine, I don't even want to try to imagine now, what if I had a father in the home to help with that issue? The point is, I would suggest folks that are under the sound of our voices, connect with us, get with us, call us, see what we're doing, where we're going, be a part of this train. I like the word you used earlier, what you've been using. We're developing a tribe. I just love that concept. Are you a genius? Are you some kind? Well, we got to talk about that off the air. I think you're a genius. We're developing a tribe. So contact us, because if you're part of the tribe we're developing, then we can coach and help and facilitate and help you navigate through some of these, I call them intricacies of life, so that you can have a higher quality of life. So with that, I would say we're out, and I'm just so thankful we're bringing up this topic. It's helping us heal, but we can help a whole lot more if you heal quicker, faster, better. That's it. We're just totally excited about Dell and Dell International. Get with us. I'll throw it back to you to close us out in 5 seconds.
Okay, well, we're out, and it is a misnomer that you can't miss what you never had. What you never had can impact your life for the rest of your life. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you on Friday.
I love it. I love this.